Hey guys, it's Dawn here, and I have picked up a new project. I'm going to teach myself how to process wool. So I'll post pictures. I got this from a local lady who advertised, I think it was 6 sheep that they had just sheared, and she wanted to give this away. So I picked up these. I had to put them in baggies, and I got 2 full baggies. It was 6 sheep. This bag was not as full as the other one. It was so heavy. Oh my gosh. And then right now I am just doing the first cleaning, shaking it out. So I decided to do it on my lawn. And I got a trash bag here. And then I put out the sheet because what I'm doing is I'm shaking it out and picking out stuff, and then a ton of stuff is coming off of it. And also these little short like second cuts, they're too short, so they're not going to be good for anything, these little scraps, so that goes in the trash. But I'll shake this out, and it has a ton of crud. And then I gotta clean out my surface, so I'll just do this, and then this cleans out my surface so that I have a nice clean surface to work with again, and then continue to pick and clean. And I'm gonna clean this up afterwards. Obviously this is my lawn, but you can see all the crud that is shook off over there. And then I figured that stuff is good fertilizer for the grass anyways. And then I'm putting them into this tub, and I might pour this out again and shake it again. It's throughout the whole process of processing wool, you're gonna keep getting more and more stuff out. It's like the whole the whole thing of processing wool is basically cleaning and getting rid of the gunk and only pulling out the best of the fibers. And then spinning them into something usable. So it's gonna take a while. At first, this was, I have sensory issues, and this kind of feels like cobwebs. I mean, it's soft and all, but I don't know. And then also, it's oily because of the lanolin. I can't use gloves because I have to be able to feel and pick these out, these large pieces. But it's got, you know, the lanolin, and I hate that feel, and then I hated the smell, and everything. It's like this is probably the really bad project to pick up because I basically hate everything about it. But look at this. This is like so disgusting. It's like, I don't know, what is this called? It's like when you haven't showered in years, and then you get this. It's like body oils and dirt and skunk all. So anyways, I'm like having to pick all this out, and it's so gross. I put that in the trash. But now, after doing a bunch of it, I'm actually okay with it, and I'm starting to like the feel, and I'm starting to like the smell, and hunting for these things to pull out. I don't know, it's kind of addicting, and it's kind of soothing. So we'll see how far I'll get in this process of being able to turn this into, I'm going to spin it into thread. Is it called thread or yarn? I'm going to teach myself how to turn it into yarn or thread or whatever, and then also maybe try needle felting, because I was just interested in the process of going from sheep to something usable, right? But I don't know what, I currently don't have any skills to use the actual product yet. So there we go. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Hey guys, it's Dawn here, and so this is the next part to prepping raw wool. The first video I did was picking out and shaking it out, and then this part is now washing it. I have this in a baby bathtub because that's what I have, and this is disgusting. So this is the first rinse, or the first soak. and it hasn't even been in here for I don't know, 5 minutes, and it's already filthy. Now you're not supposed to agitate this too much. You're actually just supposed to let it soak. You're not supposed to, you know, because you don't want the wool to felt. But this is my second batch now that I'm doing. I'm probably agitating it way more than they say to. But it's because I have to clean this. This is so disgusting. I don't know if my wool is probably dirtier than theirs or whatnot, but what's really cool is that it actually does clean up really well, because watch. See? So, oh, look at that. Isn't that cool? If it wasn't rewarding like that, then I would not be doing this. But anyway, so then after this, then, I filled up this bin, and I'm basically going to use those as my batches. That bin's worth. So then after I wash it a couple times and rinse it out, then I'm taking it out here and then setting it out to dry. Yeah, it'll be better if I had some kind of netting or screen or something to set it on. I'm just setting it on the white sheet, but you can see how it's at least clean, and there's still stuff in here, but like I said, we're just going to keep pulling that out. But at least it's not that disgusting brown, you know? And I have full confidence that our baking son is going to be able to get this dry. I'm not in any rush, and this should dry really quickly, and I'll just come out here and turn it. All right, so that's where we're at now. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, it's Dawn here, and all right, so I'm going to show you, this is going to be part 3 of processing raw wool. I think I'm done with all the steps. The first step was to just pick out the crud out of the raw wool. Second step was to wash it and then dry it, and then after you dry it, then you get this. So you see we got some, all right, so it's still doesn't look too promising, but at least it doesn't smell bad anymore. It smells okay. There's a slight odor, but not much, but it's one big tangled mess. And then make sure you guys can see this real good. And then after that, then you're gonna brush it. Now I think the proper term for it is carding. You card it with wool carders, or you can flick it with the carders, and there's flick brushes, there's carder brushes. They're expensive. They're quite pricey, especially if you want the really nice ones. They're almost like $200 a pair or something like that, so they can get real pricey. Once again, this is just my personal experiment with free wool. It was from a meat sheep, and so it's not good quality. It's just for me to experiment and learn, and I don't even know if I'm ever going to do this again. I just wanted to figure it out, so I wasn't going to spend a lot of money on equipment. So I went and dug out what I have, and I already had a wire brush and a comb, just a plain metal comb for dogs, right? So I had that, so I pulled that out, and then I also went to the dollar store, spent big bucks, got 2 of these, so that's $2. And once again, this is wire brushes. So once you have your wool dry, then you're gonna take a piece and you're gonna load up your brush, your carding brush. Now don't use me to learn how to do this, all right? There are plenty of YouTube videos, awesome YouTube videos, that are going to teach you how to do this, and you need to learn from them. You should not be learning from me. So I'm holding one end up and one end down. I'm just showing you real quick, like, what I did. I don't know, just because, but this is not third brush. This is not the proper way to do it. I don't have proper wool. I don't have proper equipment. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, etc., etc. All right, so you're gonna brush, and there is a technique to this. So I didn't think this required any skill, because I was like, oh, you just put put the wool in the brushes and then you start brushing. So that's like zero skill, right? But the first time I did this, I was like, what? This is not working. What am I doing? And I was not getting anything good. And so then I found out there are techniques. And if there is a technique, then you're developing a skill to be able to do those techniques properly. So this is actually skill. If you brush down, if you brush downwards, you're separating and pulling. If you brush upwards, then you're pulling the wool up. But then you see the little clumpies at the tips. You don't want those clumpies. So you basically want to get it, I think. Oh yeah, take everything I say as an I think. Is this, I can't tell if this is even. Anyways, you want to get like this nice and fluffy thing, okay? So because I have these little teeny tiny thick combs, carders are big. So you can do, and then it'll give you a nice big bunch, and then you get this and then you like roll it and all that stuff, right? But I'm not going to do that. What I did was I took this little piece and then I just laid it into a pile until I got this. So this is all of those little pieces you just saw me make on the comb put into this pile. And now look, I hope this camera is focusing. Are you focusing? I'll give you nothing but wool to focus on, although it's just one big cloud. So maybe it's not focusing, but this is nice. It's soft and cushy. It's a little scratchy. It's still cheap wool from meat sheep, so it's still not good, but it's a far cry from this, right? So then we got this, and then from this, you're gonna make roving. And with that, you need a tool called a diz, D-I-Z. And I don't have a diz, but I have this, which is one of Dakota's toys, and it has a hole in the center. And all you need, a diz has, is just something, usually it's kind of a curve shaped. This is not a curve, but oh well. But it has a hole, and then there's many different size holes. So you can make different size rovings. And what is a roving? Well, then I take this, and I very skillfully feed it. I just got buzzed by a hummingbird. All right, so this is a whole bunch of those little pieces just stacked one on top of each other, right? You can see little pieces, and that's a little bit difficult to work with because it's just a whole bunch of little pieces. And luckily you can join wool. You can join it together, but it's a pain in the butt to continue to join wool together. So what you do is you take your wool, I'm trying to get this started right now, and then you feed it into your diz, and I've already done this once, so I'm just doing this again just to show you on camera. And then you pull and you draft, and draft, it just means that you're going to pull, and you're gonna stretch and separate the fibers a little bit until it goes through this and what you're doing is there's separate pieces all in here, and I'm joining them. So I already did this once before, but I'm just gonna join it again now just so that you can see. And the purpose of this is to make something a little bit easier to spin, because the first thing I'm doing with my wool is I want to spin it into yarn, because, or cordage, just because I think that cordage is extremely useful and it's a survival thing, and that's kind of the reason why I even wanted to explore this in the first place. All right, now I'm getting kind of messed up, but I'm just gonna stop. I don't want to stop. All right, I'm just gonna keep going because I'm almost done. But you do this, and oh, and by the time it gets to this point, it's not stinky anymore. It smells totally clean and nice. All right, so this isn't perfect, but what you end up with is roving, which is one nice long piece. So you see how I can it's a continuous piece, and now I can tear pieces off of it or whatever, and I can spin with this. Now this is what my roving looks like, but it's one of my earlier attempts. Remember, I suck, right? So this is what came, this is like professional roving. Oh, I don't know how to separate this. Is this it? Here it is. All right, so this is professional roving. So then after you get that, then you can dye it. Oh, here we go. And you see how it's, no, so this is super nice, because mine feels a little coarse, and this one is much softer, and it's a really nice, consistent, even long piece, right? Same as this. And then of course you can join that back together again by overlapping it and squishing it. You have to be very careful, and that's one of the things. I keep breaking wool because I am such a brute, and I don't know. So then, now you got the roving, right? You got the roving, and then I got this drop spindle from Etsy, from an Etsy buyer, and oh my gosh, I love this drop spindle from this Etsy seller. A lot of these spindles, some of them are like $200 for antique ones and stuff, so they're really expensive, and I was getting really bummed because I didn't want to spend a lot of money, because I'm probably going to hate it, and I'm probably never ever going to do this again, so I didn't want to spend money. But look, this is $17 for this one, and then I also got the little one just because Dakota's probably going to want to learn how to do this as well. And I didn't know if I wanted a big one or a little one. And funny, the little one actually has a longer spindle on it than the big one, but it's got a nice finish. I love the color of the wood. It spins great, all that. So this one was $13 for the little one and $17 for the bigger one, and I love it. It has a notch and it has a hook on top. So you get your roving, you attach it to your spindle, and all you have to do is watch YouTube videos on how to do this. But because you don't, remember, you don't want, if you want to learn how to do this, you don't want to be learning from me, because I don't know what I'm doing. And the hardest part, oh, then you're gonna spin. Now I'm spinning it this way, which is, I think, the wrong way to spin it. But this other lady that was teaching me on YouTube, that's how she was doing it, and she said that it's fine to do it this way if that's the way I feel like. So I was like, yeah, it is fine for me to do it this way if I feel like it. So that's the way that I'm gonna do it. So you basically, you want to draft out a bit of the wool, and then you have to learn how to not be a brute and keep breaking it. Then you pinch, and then you let the twist travel up, and then you spin it again. stop it. It's right now it has all of this built up twist down here, and so that's why it's very important that I'm pinching so that the twist doesn't move up. And once I get what I think is a consistent right thickness, then I'm going to let go and let that twist travel up. Then I'm going to load up my twist again. I'm probably using all the wrong words and all that, and I'm not trying to teach you how. I'm just showing you the magic of this because it is pretty magical. This is pretty cool. So you draft out a section, let the twist move up the strand, and look at that. I've now made cordage or yarn, and this is 1 ply, and then you wind it up once you have enough length. What did I do? Then you just wind it up on here. Isn't this cool? And then you go back over here, load up your twist, and once you're good at it, you don't even have to park it anymore. You can just keep, you just spin it, and then you just keep drafting and letting it go. Oops. But you gotta make sure that your spindle is still going. That's easier if I'm standing up. But look at that. Another section of yarn. And so when I get good at this, it's going to be more consistent, more even, and all of that. And it's at this stage that I learned why we don't want to use the pieces with all the blebs, the second cuts, the little tiny cuts, the pieces of the parts of wool that is loaded with crud. It's just not even worth it, and all that. But this is also the part where a lot of the tiniest little cruds will spin out of this thread that I'm making. And then, of course, I'm also going to experiment with some needle felting and needle felting, and maybe making some wool dryer balls and stuff like that. So that's what I have planned for my wool. I'm just going to explore different useful things that I can make. The needle felting is not really useful, but only in the part where once you learn how to spin and felt and all that stuff, you can basically make cordage out of a ton of different stuff. You can make it out of plant matter. You can make it all out of dog and cat and rabbit fur. So then it becomes a thing like, well, what about your pets? You know, if you want to make little keepsakes, like you can make little figurines, needle felting figures, replicas of your pets, and that's really nice, and use their actual fur and all that into it. So I was like, yeah, that's actually kind of cool. So those are the types of things that I'm thinking of, but that requires more artistic and patient skill that I don't necessarily have. So we'll see how that goes. But I just wanted to show you how this works. And see, that's pretty easy. I've only been doing this. Actually, I can show you exactly. I probably have maybe 5 hours on actual spinning, and I think my threads are okay. It is strong. It is amazingly strong, this cordage. So this is the entirety of what I've spun my whole entire life. But it's just amazing how it turns into this stuff. I think I can break this if I used my whole arm, but I don't really want to, even for the camera. But just like this, there's no stretch, and this is This is strong. I can tie stuff up. It's cutting into my hands. Oh, I broke it. Dang it. Okay, anyways. It is very, very strong. It's amazingly strong for it used to being just something off of a sheep, right? So anyways, there you go. I think that concludes my wool prep series. Hope you found it as interesting as I did. I actually love it. I love spinning yarn, cordage. I don't know why. There's a pattern to it. It's a learning skill. It's really fun. There's a little bit of addictiveness to it. I like turning one thing into another thing into another thing. That is like just really cool for some reason. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope you liked it, and I'll talk to you later. Bye guys.